So in today's video, I'm going to be testing out, I keep seeing, you know, how the algorithm, you see things over and over again. Pat Arndt's Fine Line Crackle, and then I got the Classic. So it's basically the finish it looks like after some research of figuring out how to do it, that you just paint your items and then you put the crackle on and it does its magic. So let's test it out. Still have a couple of the Dollar General sheep planters in my stash. So this would make only one left in my stash. So I'm going to go ahead and I want to try that crackly aged finish. But I'm going to actually use some of the Alchambre Time color paint. I love that green. Oh, I told you it is a pretty color. So we have to paint the whole thing. I love the color of this paint. I love the coverage of this paint. I love the color too, but I love the coverage. I mean, look at that. No shellac, no pre-priming. It just goes on and sticks. You're not wiping it off as you're painting over what you already painted. And there's some amazing colors. I'm going to try to get as much of the under as I can because, you know, we have to flip this back and forth here, so to get all that I can, but the coverage, y'all, it's just awesome. The nice thing about using like a limestone chalk paint like this is you can dry it with a heat source if it's plugged in. Before flipping it over and doing the other side, I'm going to seal it in with a clear coat. That way that I don't mess up any of those little feet. And I'm not sure if I can put the crackling agent right over a chalk type of paint without sealing it in. Clear coat is dry now, so I can flip this over and we can finish up these cute little sheep. Okay, so the crackle is a two-part, and I'm going to do the fine line one on the sheep. So I have a flared out fan brush I think I'm going to use to apply it, but it doesn't fit in there. So I'm going to go ahead and pour, so I can always pour it back into the container. Now, as you see, it has the same texture like a glue, Mod Podge, you know, Elmer's glue. So you just put a generous amount on. I have a lot of details on this to get on. Okay, so now I have it on this side, and I'm going to it says you can wait like 24 hours to dry, but who has time to wait for that? I don't like to use products that say that kind of stuff. I ain't got time, y'all. So I did one of the tutorials I saw, she used a heat gun. I'm like, yeah, I'm all over that. I can do that. So it should dry somewhat clear. Now I dried a lot of it with the heat gun, but I still felt like I needed to sit and let it dry a little bit more. So now we're on to Crackle finish, the Crackle varnish. And as you see, it's a different color. So I think my brush will fit in there. So I'm not sure. I might still have a few wet spots, but we'll see what happens. I've been waiting like an hour now. I'm not going to wait 24 hours. Impatient. So my understanding before going into this is that when I start to dry it, it's going to crackle, but not like milk paint, where milk paint will crackle all the way down to the original finish. It's just going to crackle the other. No, step number one is what my understanding was. And then you're going to have to put something over it to really get it to shine, like an antiquing wax, something dark to get into those crackles. But I'm going to hit it with the heat gun, start to dry it. Get it dry most of the way. I believe that it is shiny. So whatever you finish it off with will make it not shiny. Okay, so I let this sit overnight is what I ended up doing. Went back and looked at the directions. 6 coats, let it dry. Thin coats. I mean, both said thick coats. I don't know if I'm just not seeing it because it's so shiny or not, but we're just going to go in and see what happens. So I'm going to be using Homestead's the antiquing wax, which is darker, so hopefully it gets into any of the crackling that happened or did not, may not have had. Like I said, I don't really see any on this piece. And it said you could use heat, but yeah, I'm going to say I don't. On this piece, I think it's a fail. There might be some here and there, but I'm not seeing it, y'all. That's okay. So what I think I'm going to do, get it all waxed, the front anyway, and then I'm going to use some of the dust products to give it a little bit more age. To bring out those yummy details. It is very shiny. That is true. It's very shiny. So, decrepit dust. And go in there, and we're just going to add some of it. I like the green though. I think the green is fun on these. And you know how that is. You use a new product and you got to figure out what you did wrong. I'll read you all comments that already use this, and this is what you use to get your crackling effect. I got 2 more projects yet that we'll see how they did. Oh, there you go. There's the look that I like. May not be everybody's jam, but I like things looking old. And we got to do this when your wax is wet. Would you have thought about painting sheep green? I like it. Gotta do the backs. I think as a creator and as somebody who's a DIYer anyway, I love to test out products. I love to see what other people are using, see if I can use them or I can't use them, or I don't know how to use them, or I need more training to learn how to use them. But yeah, there you go. Have this little pair of bunnies. Now this is terracotta. These were from Walmart at Easter time. I kind of was holding on to them until I was motivated with the how to paint them. So we're going to remove their tags, and I'm not going to do them bunny color. I'm going to do them amber. I think that's perfect. Like we're winding down. I hate to say that summer's winding down, but my sunflowers are popping, so I thought that would be a perfect color to kind of go in with the season, and I think some crackling would be beautiful on this amber color. So I'm just going to see that color, and there's so much texture on these little guys. Oh, I love that color. I love the coverage of this. I will do the bottom, but I'm going to do that last. Okay, same thing, use the heat gun. I'm going to use the heat gun to dry the paint. And I said I'd like to do the bottom, so it's completely done. Okay, so this I love, and I'm only doing one coat because I like seeing some of that through. So we'll see how that all turns out once we put the crackle on it. But we're going to seal this in. Okay, now we're going to finish up these little bottoms, and like any place that I might have missed when I didn't flip it upside down. Now the first one I used the fine line crackle. There's two different colors. Now this one, they're very similar, but luckily there is a 1 and a 2, so you know which one to use. So we are trying the classic crackle now, and you can see when it comes, it has, you know, so it doesn't spill all over during shipping. I found a brush that would fit inside. So same thing, just brush it all on the object that you want to crackle. Of course, everybody that I was watching was like the quick little tutorials were all doing like pictures and stuff like that. Nope, I'm going to go right in for my first project and try it on some animals with lots of surface area to get around. Why make it easy? Okay, we'll see if we can dry some of it. Some of the deeper spots, I notice I just kind of have to wait. Okay, now on to the crackle finish for these. Okay, so to dry them a little bit, just like before, I'm going to hit them with the heat gun and then let it dry the rest of the way on its own. Because the bigger pooled spots I don't want to like start pulling up paint. Now I can see a little bit of crackle happening as I'm hitting it with the heat gun. So that's cool, huh? Yesterday when I used a heat gun on these, there was some crackle, but it did not dry clear in like a lot of the spots. I didn't put the crackling on the bottom, but so I'm gonna go in with the antiquing wax and see what we get. See if there's anything in here. Oh, there's crackling on here. Why you not crackle on my sheep? It could just be that the sheep are resin. I don't know. There's crackling on here. I see it. I see it. I wasn't sure with those spots that stayed white. I am going to wax the bottom. To bring it all together, I'll wax it, but I wasn't going to waste the product on the bottom to crackle it. Okay, so this one did crackle. Can you see it? So let's take a wipe and wipe it off. There we go. Put a piece of wax paper down on my board so that. Okay, so we've got crackling. Okay, yay. I do think because I don't, you're going to have those white spots. So I think what I'm going to do to I'm going to darken it a little bit, remove that paper for a second, and I'm going to go in with some of the decrepit dust. I don't really care about seeing that white spot. So we got the Crackle, so we're just do a couple different mediums here to get that aged look. And hopefully that covers up the white where it pooled. And well, I'm glad, maybe it was the fine line one. I did the fine line one on the sheep, and I did just the classic varnish one or the classic Crackle on the bunnies. So I just have to figure out what I'm doing to get those white spots. Was it the underneath coat and the humidity? We got a mini split in here now. Thank you, Wayne, for coming and hooking that up. But yeah, that's what he looks like. I like him. I got to do the other one now. I'm sitting here doing this one. I wanted to chat with you because I thought I have seen like prints before that the glass has broken out of. And I thought, man, if I had a crackling agent to make it look like an old oil painting that's crackled over time, that's the look. This is the look I was looking for. I'm like, what can I do? Because I knew like other things that I had would not do that, but definitely since this is clear, and then you put a dark agent over it to give it that age. Oh my, that just, yeah, I won't pass those up again because that's hopefully, look at that Crackle. There you go. I'm happy that I'm happy now. I was a little sad after my first item, going, oh my gosh, I just, nobody wants to spend time doing something for it to fail. We all are busy people. We have things to do, and we don't want to spend money on something that's not going to work. And I don't want to share with you something that I can't manage. But yeah, I think maybe it's just the fine line, and maybe it was the one that I chose for the sheep. I still think they look cute. I'm staring at them from over here right now. And I'm only using the dust really because I got those white blotches. So I'm doing a pair of baby poop. I don't know why do they color them this way. A pair of swans, though they have some glass eyes, so I want to tape those off, try to protect them a little bit. I know you can use Vaseline, but Vaseline ends up, if you're heating or doing anything, it ends up spreading. So I just prefer just to tape off. Okay, I'm not leaving it that big, y'all. I pulled that much tape out, I might as well. Okay, so they're not going to be white swans this time, but they are going to be white oak. So not as white, but we're looking for that crackling aged look. So I thought this would be the perfect color. I'm not going to sand them. I know that this is, the white color, so it's going to take more than one coat, but I wanted to see how this color stuck over. I didn't sand. I didn't, you're not supposed to have to do a ton of prep with these type of paints. I'll probably repaint the black anyway. just easier. See, don't they look better already? Just getting rid of that color. Okay, gonna go in with my second coat. I'm just gonna mist a little bit. That way it's not just taking the paint off. I don't think it will, but just to be on the safe side. Okay, so now the 2 coats are dry, so I'm going to go ahead and seal that in with some Weather Defense clear coat. Now I think I'm going to do the bigger Crackle with these. It was like decide which one you want to do, which one you want to do. So I think the bigger, the classic Crackle is what I'm going to do for the swans. Not worried about the bottom yet. We're not done yet, y'all. Remember, I'm gonna have to repaint the beak after this is all said and done. So, okay, we'll get these dried. Okay, so we're doing the varnish. Okay, gonna hit them with the heat gun and then let them dry the rest of the way on their own. I can tell that it wants to crackle, so that's dry enough. And I'm just gonna send them from the fan and let them dry the rest of the way. Before doing any antiquing or anything like that, I want to paint the beaks back. I know I could have tried to paint around them, but hopefully they have the same texture as the rest of the body. And then I want to touch that paint up. And I actually wanted these to go up to the eye a little bit more. I'm just using Fusion's Coal Black paint to do this. So like on this guy underneath the black, you can see that it crackled. So we're just going to go in the same. I'm using the dark wax. I'm using the antiquing. And oh, yes, it's there. It's there. I forgot to paint the bottom. That doesn't matter. Well, I'll paint it in a second. I guess I was so excited about seeing if this crackled. Because you really, and maybe my old eyes, you know, I got to have readers and distance glasses and they can't fit me with, you know, I can't have like bifocal contacts or anything. Like nothing worked for me. So, but yeah, I'll finish that bottom up. But oh yes, 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 yes. That's what I was hoping. It was really hard to see. I have to say, it's really hard to see until you start to wax it. And I only did 1 coat of black because I didn't want that black to be like, oh, in your face. Oh, but look at one spot. Didn't this spot? Did I miss that spot? I don't know. It's all good. We don't want it to be perfect anyway. Perfect is maybe something brand new. Maybe. You know what we'll do to do that? Because it's clear. It's hard to see. I'm just saying it is. We will darken it up and we will fix that with some. There's always tricks to hide, y'all. And then just blend it out. Okay, 1 and 2. Definitely some aged look now. There it comes. And maybe it was here yesterday and I didn't see it. I don't mind testing out products I've never used before. And maybe that Crackle was there yesterday and I didn't even see it and I didn't need to let it dry overnight. So yeah, give me a comment down below. Have you used the Pen Art crackling agent and have you had success? Did you do trials and errors? Yes, I don't know what happened with the sheep planter, why there was like, maybe it was the fine line, I don't know, but the Crackle, just the regular Crackle on the last 4 items did amazing. Oh my gosh, like I said, I would love to find again like a painting that has lost its glass and it's just a print on like cardboard, and then like put that to make it, oh my gosh, yes, I absolutely love it. And I love sharing my fails with you all because we're crafters, we're DIYers. If everything turned out perfect, everybody would be doing it. So anyway, thanks for watching. We will see you next time and you can see what I'm up to. Bye.